been living full-time in an RV now for about 6 months. We wanted to give you a quick update on how it's been going.
Before we did move into the RV full-time, one of our big worries was where we would be able to park it, and that's always one of the first questions that we get. That really hasn't been an issue at all. We've pretty much been parked in the same place all 6 months, where we found the street. It's nice, it's nothing sketchy. There are a few other RVs parked on the street as well.
You even made a couple neighbor friends.
Yes.
So, most of you know, we're currently in a shelter-in-place order. Justin and I are in California, and when that hit, we actually were able to, pick up our home and take a journey off to the desert. But altogether, I think it was almost 2 weeks. Just a thought of gratitude to be able to, pick up our home, be sheltered in place while kind of exploring a little bit. Yeah. It was a little weird.
It was a little weird, and I don't know where some people would put that on how okay that was or not, but we were more secluded than being here for sure.
Yeah, definitely more safe than being here, because
at least kind of the epicenter of the virus outbreak, at least in California, like the Bay Area. Being able to go, and we spent some time just in the desert. We're the only two people,
there,
the
only
basically.
2 people there.
That was really cool to be able to do that. So another cool feature has become more evident, in this time of crisis. It's a very good feeling to me to be off-grid with our needs, knowing that if there is a crisis of some sort that would require us to leave the area, that it would be really easy to do that. Our electricity isn't dependent on anybody else. We have enough water for 2 weeks or so. Having more of that kind of mobility and freedom to escape a situation happening has certainly brought up some gratitude for that.
Not having rent to pay is a big one. I still have my job, but most people are not able to work, and not having to pay rent has been a big plus.
Yeah, not having rent due on the first of the month makes all of this a lot more easy to digest.
Yeah. There have been a couple of challenges that we've had through this COVID-19 shelter-in-place situation, so we'd like to share that with you.
Because of the shelter-in-place, we've been trying to avoid these public areas, of course. One necessity, though, is the grocery store. And before this, we were going to the grocery store maybe every 2 to 3 days. Our storage is obviously limited, and our refrigerator is fairly small, so it is easier to go more frequent trips, but we've been trying to only go to the grocery store once a week, which has just required a little bit more planning at the beginning of the week, as well as it's required some good Tetris skills for the refrigerator for sure. And then certain things where you would refrigerate if you just have the space, but maybe it's not 100% necessary that they refrigerate, leaving them out for a couple days, and then as more room opens up in the refrigerator, then kind of transferring them in. And we've been cooking every meal here.
Yeah.
We've been maybe ordering out once a week, if that.
If you can't tell, Bodhi is loving shelter-in-place with Mom and Dad. Loving it.
Sure
A little
is.
too much.
Another difficulty that we ran into was our mail situation. Because we don't have a physical address, we have gotten a mailbox at a UPS store. But due to the COVID-19 situation, the location that we normally get our mail from has closed. So they gave us another address to another UPS store, which is further away from us, whatever. But then also during that transition, some packages that were delivered to the old location kind of got lost or mixed up. Just been more, it's like a 10-minute drive to this new mailbox, so it's been a little more difficult, a little more of an annoyance. That's not that big of a deal, but another, small thing that you might not think of that we've had to deal with. Okay. Another challenge that we have noticed, not necessarily due to the COVID situation, but just the RV living in general, is the size of our bed. So the bed is like a little smaller than a full-size bed, which can be very challenging at times. There just should be a lot more space. And it's not a terrible thing, but again, one of these kind of minor inconveniences. And as the days have been getting warmer, that's another thing. So kind of luckily there is also a loft area. Yeah, we have a loft, which is another bed if you are familiar with RVs. There have been a few nights where we've just gone to separate beds, either at the beginning of the night or in the middle of the night if it gets too hot. Quality sleep is an important thing. With all that being said, this experience living in the RV has been great. I think we're both certainly grateful for it, and has proved to be a very useful experience. But I think that everybody would have something to benefit from if they did experience it. When we do buy a house, which that is part of the plan to save the money for that, we will appreciate the space of a house so much. So there's this idea of voluntary hardship, so choosing to do something that is maybe more difficult or do without something that will make things more difficult in order to, when you get it back, be able to appreciate it more. I feel like this is that on a larger scale. Most of the time it's a shorter period of time of giving something up or doing something different for a day or a week or a month. Obviously this will be, over a year that we're planning on doing this, but I think that there's some real value to doing that type of thing. It will allow us to appreciate when we do have the space and the big kitchen and actually a backyard and a king-size bed again. We will be able to appreciate that so much more instead of taking things for granted, as often people can do. Alright, if you have any further questions about our RV living or anything else you'd like us to answer, please leave some comments in the video. Also, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe by clicking the button below.